Okay, go to Google now and put in money for college, okay? Google that term. You know what you're going to get? Almost 1 billion websites. I got 959 million websites. Wow. So now you've solved your problem of paying for college, right? Boy, that's nuts. And actually, if you look at that list, the first couple pages, they're all people trying to sell you money, get a loan, borrow money, or scholarships maybe sometime. Or people that, even I was looking at some of the things there and the examples they have. Oh, the best things you should know about paying for college. It's all how to buy money. It tells you nothing about tuition or anything like that. Or here I put in pay for college. Okay, how are you going to pay for college? Okay, I got 757 million. That's 757 million websites. Man, that's why it's information overload. I mean, it's going to cause more problems than you think. It takes asking the right questions, and that's what it is. I mean, we want to pay for something, we put the question in, and that's the wrong question. Man, why the hell are you paying so much for college? Maybe that's the question. Here, look at this chart. This is from a documentary I saw a little while ago. It's called Ivory Tower, okay? And it's about the cost of college. And they have a chart that's very instructive from 1978. Okay, the cost of college has increased over 1,000%. 1,000%. Okay, numbers and numbers, you don't know what the hell that is. I don't either. But compared to what else? Okay, healthcare increased 600%, and that's going crazy too. But this is twice as crazy. Paying for college is twice as crazy as paying for healthcare. Okay, now something more normal, food, how much did that increase? Just a little over 200%. So if college tuition increased over 1,000%, and food over the same period of time only increased 200%. Yeah, I mean, that's crazy. Now, if cars increased the same amount of money as college tuition did, the average car now would cost $80,000. $80,000, not 20 or whatever the heck it is now. $80,000. And see what we're doing for college tuition. We're saying, well, gosh, I'll just get a loan. That's why when you Google paying for college, they tell you how to get a loan, how to get money to pay for college. So how am I going to get a loan for college? So 99% of Americans just figure out a way to get $80,000 to buy a car because they want a car, right? That's crazy, So, and it's really because everybody now could get a loan to pay for college, no questions asked. So somebody gives you a price, like if they gave you a price for a car of $80,000 and said, hey, I'll lend you money, don't worry about it. I don't care what your background is, credit check or anything. Here's 80 grand, pay me whenever. But you're going to pay me, you little sucker, and get the car. That's what we're doing with college. Now, giving people, no matter who the heck they are. So what's happening now, look at this chart, is the line on top on the right in 1914, you see that student loan debt now is higher than auto loan debt, credit card debt, or home equity debt. It's the highest amount of debt that we have in the country now. And look where it was just in 2004, it was the lowest amount. So student loan debt went from the lowest amount of debt that we carried to the highest amount just in 20 years. I mean, that's crazy. I'm sorry, 10 years. That's amazing. And so look at what the person is carrying when they get out of college. Look at that line in debt. In 1993, it was down about $10,000, and now it's $30,000. So you're graduating with that. And people with that kind of debt, man, that changes your whole life. Now you have to get a job you hate to pay off the debt. Now you have to, change your whole life. Now you can't buy a car, even if it was only $20,000, not $80,000. Now you can't get married. Now you can't buy a house. Now you can't do all these other things most young people do because they have this debt. Look at now what's happening to young people who go into debt. Okay, from 2005 to 2012, this data is the increase in earnings. That's the bottom line. So young people, when they get out of college to get a job, their earnings, their income has gone down. The average income has gone down, since 2005. So they're graduating from college and earning less money, but look how much their debt went up. So it seems crazy. So it seems the trick is, man, what the hell are we paying so much? Here's the name of the game I see. Number one, college increased tuition by 1,000%, okay? But wages to pay for that has went down. They went down. And, okay, step two, you don't have money to pay for college, okay? Now, people will lend you money no matter who you are to go to college. So you go and say, hey, I guess I need college. It costs this much. I'll just get the money. Okay, so you get the money from the bank and the people give you money. You give all the money to the college, okay? You graduate from college, hopefully, maybe not. But no matter what happens, the college has the money. You have the debt. And so what kind of economic opportunity is this for you? You got to pay that money back. You know, the college doesn't care. They got the money already. You got to pay the bank back. So is this a good investment, higher education? Man, to me, it's a good investment for the colleges because they're getting you to borrow money to give to them and they're home free once you leave, and you're not. So what do you do about this stuff? I mean, that's the important thing, you know. And gosh, I think what you got to do is open your mind about opportunities. Well, you know, what are your options in life? You got to consider more options. You go to Google and you're going to get what everybody else is doing. You know, when you're trying to figure out how to pay for college, you won't understand the obvious. Because look what other countries are doing. What's going on in the world for higher education? We're not the only country in the world, the only country with college students. Look at this chart here. This is a chart that shows you the affordability of college, okay, in some major countries like us. You know, these are all the guys that belong to the same country club as we do. You know, the rich countries. You know. And what is the percentage of income that they pay for college? Okay, in our country, look way down on the bottom. You see U.S. 52%. So that means when you go to college, the average family is paying half of their income to pay for college. What are other countries doing? Denmark, 2%. So they're not paying 50% of their income going to college. The average family household only pays 2%. Norway, 2%. Sweden, 3%. France, 3%. Germany, 4%. Finland, 6%. Netherlands, 11%. It gets a little higher a little bit. Australia is the only people close to us, and Japan is right on our tail. You know, but look at all these countries in Europe that you could go to college to for just a fraction of what we pay here. And these are the best universities in the world. That's what's neat. I mean, you're not going to Joe's College. These are universities that are older than Harvard and more established, and they're world-renowned universities. Now, see, as a percentage of income, look at this graph, because this may show it a little more. This is a graph I took the data from that other chart to show you what the average family income is and what that equates to in college tuition. So like in Denmark, they have a average family income of $44,000, which is close to us, 2%. So they're paying $887 a year for tuition. Okay, you go down to USA, we're paying $22,000 per family a year for tuition. So you could go to college in Denmark for less than $1,000. Look at all those European countries. For $1,000, $2,000 tuition is a lot. And we're paying $22,000. That's a tenth of what we're... There's something wrong with that. And when I first saw this data, I said, well, maybe we make a lot more than all these countries. So it doesn't mean that much to us. They're poor. Okay, look at this next chart. Nah, we're not the richest kid on the block either. We're number 5 in household income. Look at Norway, Sweden, Denmark. These countries that pay a hell of a lot less, they're making even more money than we are. So it's not a matter because we have so much money, that's why we're going to pay so much for college. No! These other countries, are even making more money, and they're paying less for college. Now, something's got to be wrong here, right? And I don't know if you and I are going to live long enough to change it. But a way to change things is really take advantage of the opportunity, okay? So that means, look at this chart. Man, now even if you have to live in another country, look at here. Okay, in Spain, see this chart here? It tells non-European residents. Okay, this is from the European community, because European countries, now there's like 20 some of them, they're all over. And so to go to college in Spain, the annual tuition is $660, okay? Now, even if you live there in Spain while you're going to college, it only costs another $5,000, so you're paying $5,000, roughly a little under $6,000 a year for tuition, room, and board. Okay, now in the United States, if you went to a state school, so if you live in Maryland, you went to the University of Maryland, and what would that cost you? About $20,000. If you went to a private school, it'd be $40,000. So look at the money you save. I mean, it's incredible. Do you want to pay $40,000 a year or $5,000 a year? So $5,000, that's a $20,000 bill. At $40,000, 44, so it's $160,000 of debt if you take a loan. Now that's crazy. I mean, it's like that for all these other countries too. It's for non-European resident. If you were born in Spain and a resident there, it'd be even cheaper than the $600. France, actually, it's only $200 tuition in France. I'd like to go to the Sorbonne in Paris, and it costs you $8,000, $9,000 to live. But man, $10,000 and you go to the best university in the world. And actually, there's a young man who helped me with all this data. He was terrific. He goes to school in Europe. Sefer de Sus, and because all this data and not knowing the culture or whatever, he was a wonderful help and got me a whole bunch of data to try to understand this. And him and his European college students say, God, he doesn't understand why kids in this country are nuts for paying so much. And the world is becoming so small that, man, why not? Oh, okay, now. So how do you take advantage of this? Hey, I don't know French, right? I don't know whatever they speak in Denmark, Danish, right? German, I don't know Germany, German. Doesn't matter. There are now, listen to this, more colleges that teach courses in English. See, in the European community now, you have these 20 countries, okay? Now, they're like one country. So Europe is trying to be like America with all the states, and so we're all, it costs nothing to go to, another state in the United States. Well, they're trying to make Europe like that. So everything in Europe, you can go, you don't need a passport, you don't need anything. If you live in one country in Europe to go to another country, there's no tariffs if you're changing goods and stuff like that. So they're trying to make the university system like that. So all universities, it doesn't matter. They all have the same kind of system, and you could change universities anywhere in Europe. And so what they're doing, though, is teaching more courses in English. So that means English is becoming the common language in going to college in Europe, anywhere. So for Americans, that's great because we're ignorant for languages. We only know English. Now we can have no language problem going to any of these universities in all of Europe, not only just England or Ireland, no, France, Germany, Greece, Portugal, all these schools now are concentrating on having degree programs all in English, and not only to attract foreign students like from America, but actually to make it easier and one language in Europe too for higher education. Because most kids, if they're going on to higher education, so many of them do that. And now here's a report I found for the Institute of International Education. See, this is the kind of things you're going to have to Google for now, not just how to pay for college. Where the hell are you going to college? Institute of International Education. There's about 300,000 students a year from that study in Europe from overseas, okay, in English. Now, but there's also 43,000 that are there getting degrees. They're getting diplomas, graduating from European, universities. Why? Because it's like 10% of what it costs here. That's why people are not stupid. So how do you sitting there find out about this stuff? That's the key. That's the problem. Well, there's a database. The European community is starting to market this stuff. So what's great about it? Now, here's the database. studyineurope.eu/in-English. So that's studyineurope.eu for European community. Now, and that database has 13,000 programs that you could take in all these countries, all in English. You don't even don't have to worry about where you're going. So you go get a degree in engineering, but it's taught in English and it only costs $1,000 a year. You go get a degree in accounting and it's in English, or entrepreneurship, or biology, or urban planning, sociology, law, anything, all in English for a fraction of what us crazy Americans are paying for here. And you're down to almost no debt either, too. So here's the kind of thing. So you got 13,000 programs in English. Like in France alone, in France, there's 1,897 programs in France at all their universities that are taught in English. See, they record all this, so you have a nice little database. You never find this in Google. You have to know what to ask for. That's the problem with Google. You have to ask the right questions. Okay, here's one for Italy. Wouldn't you love to go to Italy? Oh man, sitting, cafes out in the piazza or whatever. There's over 1,100 programs. The Czech Republic, that's my grandparents came from. Czechoslovakia, there's 352. So my kids could go there and study in the homeland and don't even have to study. So again, anything. You want to study nursing, technology, medicine, mathematics. I mean, again, these some of the best universities in the world. God, I mean, it's just an incredible opportunity in my mind. And also, there's some neat stuff you could study there too. Like, listen, wine business administration in Germany, free. The whole degree program is free. Wine business administration. See, the tourism is a bigger, economic opportunity, in Europe, and so they have courses in it. Brussels has business and technology. $2,500 a year to study business and technology. Portugal, sustainable tourism management. Man, tourism businesses worldwide wouldn't be great. You come home and want to work for Hyatt, but yes, I have a degree in tourism management from Portugal. So now you're a world international travel, even though that you have no idea how to speak a word of Portuguese. Here's what I thought would be: they have so many American studies programs. Now, wouldn't it be that like go to Poland for $5,000, $5,600 a year, and get a degree in American studies? Man, you'd ace that sucker, I hope. At least you'd have an advantage. It's sort of like the people from China coming here studying Mandarin. Or this is what I really love. In Ireland, where but Ireland could you get a degree in bar management? Man, now that's cool. I got my bachelor's in bar management. Man, you imagine Ireland, I don't know if you've been to Dublin, man, the pubs, you throw a rock out in the town square and you hit 50 of them, So that would be a great experience, and homework must be a killer over there. Or even like sports-related degrees. I mean, God, there's 67 programs in English, sports-related, like sports management and stuff like that. International sports management and business, gosh, who would ever think? I mean, fun stuff to do. And also, even though you're not a member of the European community, you're a non-member, there are still scholarships. So that's why you pay next to nothing, plus there's scholarships. Here's a database that I found for scholarships and grants for studying abroad. Okay, that's studyabroadfunding.org. Studyabroadfunding.org. And a couple other things about going to school in Europe. Man, healthcare is free more in most of these countries, right? It's not here. What am I going to do with healthcare? Man, it's free, man. We were traveling with the family in England, and a kid on a skateboard, my boy, broke his arm, went in the hospital. The last thing they did was get our information. That was going out of the hospital, not going into the hospital. the last thing. I mean, in Czechoslovakia it was the same way. Man, it just, the most expensive thing in the doctor was the cab ride getting to the doctor. You know, the hospital, the doctor, and everything was next to nothing. You know, I mean, they just, you know, they have a different clock over there. You know, and it's neat to do know about. Okay, so now to learn about this opportunity, you know. The programs you want to know about, or the websites, is the Institute of International Education, or IIE.org. That's a good database that has these studies about people studying overseas. Okay, the other thing we talked about was the database of all these programs, you know, the 13,000 programs in English, and that's studyineurope.eu. And then also the database on scholarships and grants, and, you know, financial, you know, paying for it in other ways, you know, with free money, and that's studyabroadfunding.org. And here I put on the end of this 2 interviews we've done, and actually Zafir interviewed these 2 European students and what they think about studying in Europe and how nuts we are in the country. So listen to them, because it gives you some feeling of on the ground, how fun it is to be in a foreign country, how important it is to expand your mind, and how much more valuable you will be as a citizen in the United States or a world citizen to have that experience behind you. I mean, so many people in our country don't even have passports or whatever, and the world is getting so small. I mean, now in business I deal with people all over the world all the time, you know, and so to get that even, you know, if you're going back at 40 or 50 years old to get a degree in something, why not go over there? Yeah, if you put away 10 grand to do it, you could probably go over there and do it all, and you don't have to get a loan, and you have enough money, you know, to live on while you're doing it. So it's a great opportunity, man. And just the biggest thing in life, I think, is knowing your options, and be careful with Google. That's not going to show you options. That's just going to show you what everybody else is doing.
If I were you, I would go study in Europe because, firstly, mainly because of the tuition fees, how you can save so much money and still be able to visit your family, every holiday, and you'd still save money on tuition fees. Another reason is because it's traveling, and traveling is good. You meet lots of different people, you get to visit places and get to see completely different cultures that you never thought you'd see. Yet, because people are generally quite accepting, you will feel at home. Well, you'll feel comfortable here, and you'll just get to have the most amazing experience, probably, of your lives, because the independent and the actual movement you have to do to get out of home, to get out of your home continent even, and to make that move, which is quite difficult. But you wouldn't regret it. You definitely wouldn't. None of the American people that came to my university in England regretted it. They loved it, in fact, and they came back for holidays. And because of the free movement around Europe, you could go visit so cheaply any city in Europe for a weekend, well, not a day, I wouldn't do that for a day, but I mean, hostels are so cheap, you could just go anywhere. It would be great. So yeah, come to Europe.
Hello guys, I think that studying in Europe is a great opportunity because first of all there are world-class universities with really good levels and professors and career opportunities following that. But I think Europe in itself has so many countries that are really interesting, that all have programs in English that you can study at, and you get to discover new countries, probably for a portion of the price you would pay if you were studying in the US. Some countries are even free. You can also get free healthcare if you go in a country like the UK or France, for example. I did my master's degree in London in the UK, and I really had a great experience. London is an amazing city. I got the chance to travel within the country, meet people from all around the world, had a great social life, lots of things to do. And as I said, you can travel in many countries as long as you're in the EU and in the Schengen area. Then you don't need a visa. You can go around very easily. And I think, the first universities were in Europe, and it has such a huge cultural background and heritage, and you can great food and very interesting places. And I think it's great to discover new area. Oh,